So, in the same token, as you being transgender male, do you believe that you should disclose that you're transgender, or for the most part, how do you feel about that? Like,
I think transgender people in general, if they are seeking a sexual partner, should disclose to that partner that they're transgender. I honestly, I wouldn't even go on a date with someone if they didn't know I was transgender, because even
wow.
women, trans women have it much riskier. Than a trans male. You know, I don't see a girl that I'm on a date with, if she kisses me, being so freaked out because she finds out I'm trans.
No, that is true.
You know, like trans women can get killed.
Yeah, there's been deaths.
And there was I forget her name, but there was a death of a woman not too long ago, a trans woman who some guy was just like flirting with her on the street, you know, trying to pick her up, and then his friend said, "Oh, yeah, she's transgender," and he beat her to death. So I don't see stuff like that happening to trans men, especially because we pass better. But I do think we should disclose, because it puts us at less of a risk.
Okay. Yeah.
To get into a situation like that.
Absolutely.
You know.
And then you're giving the other person a choice. Have you ever been through that though? Like you were dating someone and you end up telling them you're transgender and they like backed off.
No. I think because in today's day and age, we all meet each other on social media.
Oh yeah.
So
they know off rip.
Yeah, they know already, and I mean, I did have a girlfriend, and she knew I was transgender. When I first started to transition, I was with someone, and she just told me to transition. You know, I feel like, especially too with the transgender community kind of like booming all of a sudden a few years ago, it's like people, especially in the LGBT community, become more, I guess, open, and they're willing to date transgender people because they actually think about transgender people. I don't think they really thought about transgender people before.
That's true.
But at the same time, just to finish up, I don't go around disclosing to people, like, if I met somebody, oh, by the way, I'm transgender. Okay. I don't think it's any of their business.
Okay.
Because I do feel like it changes someone's mind about me. Okay. And I don't see where I would even bring that up. You know?
Yeah, I can see that though. I can see if we just met each other. Hey, I'm transgender. And it's
if it happens, it happens. But at work, if somebody new comes, I don't want to sit there and tell them, oh yeah, I'm transgender. And I honestly wouldn't want other people telling them that I'm transgender either, because it's like, you're outing me. And what if this person doesn't even like that? I didn't transition into a male to be constantly seen as a transgender person.
Wow.
I want to be seen as a male. That's the whole reason I transitioned.
So why are you so public about it?
I'm so public about my transition.
For you to be kind of shy and kind of stem, you are very vocal about it.
Yeah. I'm so public about my transition because I never spoke to anybody before I transitioned. I watched the videos so much that, I felt like I owed it to other people who were like me, who are afraid to talk to somebody, to be open about my transition, and to be helpful and to be comforting. I think sometimes people are so intimidated that I wanted to be someone that people weren't intimidated by. And I try to answer everyone who hits me up, and I make my videos because I want people to see that I'm realistic. I never tried to amp myself up to be something I'm not or anything like that. And I think because I'm humble,
you're very authentic.
Yeah, that people gravitate towards that, and they want to speak to me. I meet people in person, not only just on social media, and I contact a lot of people. I want to do like things like this where I get all these transgender people's opinions out there, yeah, I just try my hardest.
So it's not about you more so, it's for the awareness for other people and for you to help others because you didn't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that's so dope because for the most part, I think that's how we should live. It's like each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Each one help each other. And because he went through that struggle within himself, not having someone to confine in you want to be vocal for people.
Everyone.
That's dope, but I could see that being a lot of stress, having other people stress on you, or you feeling like you're obligated to, you know, uplift people or keep it going on social media. Is it?
It is. You know, because every day you deal with your own struggles.
Right.
Just because I transitioned doesn't mean everything in my life in which I stress disappeared. Like, just my insecurities, my depression, things like that, they didn't go away because I transitioned. I still had to deal with those things. You know, a transgender person has gender dysphoria. So they suffer from gender dysphoria. So when you decide to transition and take the hormones, your gender dysphoria is alleviated because you're starting to see who you are in the mirror, like in your mind in the mirror reflecting back at you. And then you have to have surgeries. Some people feel like they have to have surgeries to feel better. And so
for you, was it that? Did you feel like you have to have surgery to feel better?
Yes.
Okay.
And so my gender dysphoria is alleviated, but other things in my life weren't. And to be someone who, you know, I was very insecure, and very shy. I didn't really like talking to people. You know, since I've transitioned, I've pushed myself so much to be different than I was because I felt like the gender dysphoria blocked me, and now I have to learn how to let this person that was inside come out. And it's very hard when you never let that person out.
So do you believe that being transgender, as they label it, is a mental disease?
I feel like there's a negative
It definitely is a negative connotation
yes.
around that.
I feel like it's definitely a negative connotation when you say it, but I do believe it is a mental disorder.
Okay.
And I think that's a big thing in the community where we don't want to label it as a mental disorder.
Right.
But it is in the DSM-5. That's, you know, and you do, when you go to someone, a therapist or something, you get diagnosed with gender dysphoria. To have surgery, you have to get diagnosed to have that you have gender dysphoria to have it even covered by the health insurance. And it's been proven by science that the way the brain of transgender people the way the brain forms of transgender people makes them think in a male or female aspect, and that's why they have the disconnection. So I don't think the making it a gender a mental disorder takes back from us. I think it just stamps
it helps people to understand.
Yeah, it helps people to understand that, and it gives more of an assurance that this is not something I'm just feeling. This is actually proven scientifically that this is what we suffer from. Oh,
wow. Okay, so I could definitely see where you're going. It's like, it adds more to it. Like, I'm not crazy.
Yes.
Like, I'm not crazy. Even though there's a negative connotation behind a mental disease. Because when you think mental, you think, you know, they're crazy, you know, out of this world, which y'all are not.
Yeah.
But it also shows people, like, I'm not just here saying that I feel like a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in my mind. Look at what they're showing. Look at what they're saying.
Exactly.
So that's a dope ass perspective because I didn't think of it like that. And the transgender woman that I interviewed last week, she felt the same way. Like, no, well, not the same way as you. She just felt like, I don't have a damn mental disease.
Yeah.
But I do understand, like, y'all literally are saying the same thing. Like, it's not a mental disease, but here is the science to show you this is what that is.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's a dope. Are there any negative side effects of the hormones?
There. When you do start hormones, you should do your research. I find that a lot of people, especially late, as transgender has become a thing, don't do their research. I have a lot of people that hit me up that ask me what happens, and that bothers me because
I can see that. Definitely.
I did so much research. I knew what was going to happen to me.
That's laziness, first of all.
Yeah, and I feel like it's more of a looking at the pictures and being like, oh, I would like that to happen. But you don't put into context what it really means to transition. It's not just, oh, I look like this. It took a long time to get to there, mentally, physically, and socially. All of your life is
everything, yeah.
All of your life is changed. You have to change like your birth certificate, your social security card. You have to go pay for all of that stuff. Your name, your ID, everything. But
so how do you respond to those people?
And first before I answer that, let me say the negative things about taking hormones is when you inject yourself with hormones, it passes through your liver. So it's very important to go to the doctor, and we have to go to the doctor every 6 months. At the first year, it's like every 3 months, because they have to check your blood and they have to keep an eye on your liver, because this is a substance that your liver is I inject myself twice a month, and that passes through my liver, the testosterone. So you have to be very careful, and there's also not a lot of science about the long-term effects of what taking hormones does to transgender people, because it just hasn't been done. So there are negative aspects in that concern medically. You have to make sure you're doing the correct thing, and mentally, transitioning can change how you think. It's just not physical. My whole mindset changed when I started transitioning, and I didn't think that would happen. I don't cry anymore. I'm not as emotional as I was when I was a female.
Wow.
Like, at all. And that can take a toll on your mentality, is when people tell you that you act different and you don't know how or why. And it's hard to not cry when you feel like you have to or want to.
Wow.
And
do you think it's because of the hormones?
It's
because it's like now you're a guy, and guys tend to not be so emotional. So is it in that aspect, or is it just this is what the hormones doing to me?
It is what the hormones are doing to you, because I do wish that I could be more emotional.
Right.
It's not something that I decided to do. It's something that happened.
Right.
So I think it just gives me more of an understanding of what men go through and why men are the way that they are.
Okay.
I think that's the most beautiful thing about transgender people, is that they experience both. So they're able to relate to both.
Oh, wow.
Sexes, and I feel like they're well-rounded in that instance.